Hey guys, welcome back to Project Reshift. I mean, what the hell? Project Your Video Podcast, whatever, I don't know. All right, how's your day? For three things, right? Well, first, let's say I'm taking an aerial view. It's not something I usually do, but once again, it's going to be a huge mishmash for the thumbnail. I don't know what I'm supposed to even necessarily cover here because everything's connected. It's like when you're moving out and you don't have like a proper plan in place, or you do have a plan, but it's not comprehensive enough and it doesn't have enough sequential order. It's not well organized enough. Everything's kind of strewn, and I think the most difficult part is recording, right? Capturing the process. Because everything is connected, it's very difficult to just talk about one thing. You can't. I really wanted to make, like I said, a 10-minute video. I didn't want to make like 25-minute videos, but everything's just really tied together. So because one item goes with another thing and they get packaged together. So you gotta talk about both or whatever. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, let's start off with again the three things. First of all, how's your day been? What's your main highlight for the day? Secondly, do you have any venting frustrations you want to just kind of pour out a little bit? Privacy, confidentiality, don't disclose too much. And if you don't have anything negative to talk about, well, that's great. Let's just keep it that way. And the third thing, of course, if there's anything relatable for you, so you're a maybe your position, your job is you're a coordinator. I know I've done a job very much like that. I had to do, of course, it was like physical coordination inside a warehouse for me under production and assembly. For you, it might be coordination in the office. Like that's what we call coordinators, usually coordinating appointments and schedules and clients. So there's a lot of that logistical stuff that I'm basically doing right now. So I think that's relatable. If you want to talk about that, I highly welcome that. Actually, I'd love to hear your stories. So with that being said, of course, this is slice of life in real life, RL, domains of life, there, finance, health, all that kind of stuff, relationships on this side. You got like creativity and digital content and artificial intelligence and self improvement and psychiatry. Mishmash together, you get Graham's slice of real life. I feel like a grandfather, gone through about my past. It's kind of weird. And then this is just like lessons for orphans, I guess you could say. Although those don't really exist anymore, I don't believe, and I don't think that you could. I don't know. Would you benefit from this? Don't know. Anyways, I'm just sharing with you, and you're sharing with me, and that's how this project goes. That being said, let's just go right into the content. So there's a lot of stuff here. I wish I could show you a little bit better angle, but the camera, of course, here has quite a bit of technical issues. The cable is kind of weak, tends to disconnect if I move it around too much. On the bed over here on the back side, you see here, there's some stuff here that belong. It's like first aid, cleaning, hygiene, bags, and those belong on that crate over there at the very back, which I will show you the original location at the very end of this video because that's not actually where it belongs, or that's not where I put it temporarily. And I want to cover some stuff that was left in the previous video because I've sorted out an idea of what I want to do. Unfortunately, what that means also is that I have to create another video directly after this one that actually properly covers an overview of the desk equipment right now. And I wasn't prepared for that today, at least not in this time. I thought I was going to do it tonight, but I came back to this place too late yesterday. Had stuff to do. Didn't even get everything I needed done outdoors, and then I didn't get everything I needed done indoors. So that's kind of what's happening now. So we just gotta deal with it. So without further ado, let's cover this stuff like this organized before after thought of everything that I want to talk about. When it comes to the previous videos content for you guys to be last day, I covered this crate here. I said, it was an unpleasant surprise. There was a little meme. I put the title as Heisenberg's kitchen, from Breaking Bad. His methylamine barrels, and I literally have like one of those chemical barrels right here. It looks like. Of course, it's not actually that. It's for like a chocolate factory. And it's just a joke. Um, so inside this crate, I said, there's like packaging. I forgot to mention that the plastic bags are actually meant for the bed sheets. No, not the bed sheet, but the bed mattress. It wraps around sort of to provide a protective covering, especially if there are bugs or insects or anything bed bugs. but there are no bedbugs here. What I mean is, especially if I move into a new place and there are, or maybe even where, just generally speaking, your hair gets caught in the mattress and looks nasty and stuff like that. Just kind of want to prevent the grime from going in. That's the kind of stuff that's inside here. There's home decor stuff as well. So what I've thought about, I said there's like this little, 10 centimeter space, height worth of space by about, I don't know, 60 centimeter by 30 centimeter. So 2 feet by 2 by 1 feet in length, in dimension. Let me get, I was holding my arm up a little bit too long. Okay, get that blood flow back. Basically, what I think I'm going to do with that space in that crate here, first of all, there's a crate within a crate. So what I've done is I said, maybe what we can do is we can take this that space remaining inside, as we compress it a little bit with the plastic bags. There's more space, maybe about 5 centimeters down, and we can put some paperwork in there. That's what I'm thinking right now. So for example, I'll show you this binder of a nutritional company. Like I said, there's the side business as a sale commissions agent, direct selling company. And I realized now I went in, I gave a bit like a 5-minute spiel tangent about a certain company before this video, the previous one. And I realized I was talking about the wrong company. And that was that was like 5-6 years ago. That book on networking actually came from the sales commission. It's just that it was very similar to another book that I had. They looked very similar, and I have more than one. So anyways, the point is, I am going to put some paperwork in here, reminders, office work. I'm going to stash it inside this crate over here so you can see. Crate inside a crate. Right, box inside a box. Right. And I think that's a good place to store some papers because it's just flat. But on that note, it means that I also have a lot of papers. In fact, I should be holding on the camera. I have to be careful here. If I go down, this is where my laptop is. As you can see, next to it is the mess of receipts and gadgets that I said we want to talk about. I didn't realize it'd be like after this, but I'm going to record it after this. So I'm going to have to change the setup a little bit so that I can actually record the desk. But basically, there's paperwork here. And if I can cover that vaguely, I can probably cover it and put it inside this crate or box. Now, I don't know if I can actually get that done now. I mean, it depends. It's a little bit situated in the environment. I just am going to work about what's comfortable for me. When the household kind of dies down, I want to leave, and it's kind of died down now, but I'm recording a video, so I know people will return. I just kind of got to coordinate what I'm doing here with the project and organizing all the moving materials with, who's coming in and out. So with that being said, I think that's what the next video is going to cover. It's going to cover all the stuff here behind in the backdrop. But there's paperwork. My point is, there's mail, there's paperwork, there's documents, and that belongs in this crate because there's not a whole lot left. It's only about maybe, if I compress it, it should only be about 5 centimeters high, which is exactly the space that we need to place inside this crate. So once we close that inner crate, right, like I'm detailing you my thoughts, the inner crate, we close the lid, put it down together. The next thing we can do, I think that makes most sense, is I can place all the gadgets. So for example, down here we have this earphones, or at the very back. Like, this is why I say we have to cover the office, because the office has a lot of electronics that I want to cover and completely finish. And once I've covered in an overview of the electronics, I want to toss them inside this crate. Now this makes things complicated because, like, think about what just happened. I said in the previous video that I was going to move this crate, inside that cart, and then I was going to take it out today, because I couldn't put the blue barrel, the Heisenberg, the methylamine barrel. It's not a real, of course, it's just preserved food or non-perishable foods, but it doesn't fit in the trolley. So we decided maybe we'll move this crate instead. Turns out we can't even do that because now we have to cover the office stuff behind before and package it inside the crate, the outer crate. The inner crate will have some office work, the decor, the home decor, as well as the bed sheet plastic stuff. And then the outer box out here is gonna, so that's the inner box I'm holding right now. You see my arm. I know it's small, it's hard to see, sorry guys. And here's the outer box that has like 10 centimeters worth of space, enough to cover some electronics here. Because I know they cannot fit all inside this shelf here, which you can't see right now also. But you will see, again, there's a lot of stuff that I'm just gonna delegate to the next video. I don't know. Now it's sounding like maybe I might not record it right now because, again, I'm keeping in mind the environment, right? You got to situate yourself. A little bit of situational awareness is very important. So I think that, maybe I will record after this. It's not clear. Maybe I won't. Like, ideally, I want to do this in the morning and at night. I believe it's less disruptive because people have to go to work. People have to go outside. I have to go outside. It's disruptive to me as well. But unfortunately, again, I came home late. There's just too much stuff to do. But that's ideally what would happen. So the electronics should go on the outside and the paperwork on the inside. Now, where's the paperwork coming from? Again, you can see why I can't have like a single thumbnail for this. I'm sure, again, just put in the comments in YouTube, Reddit, Discord, like what was chaos? How chaotic was it? Was it for you to move in and out? I know that I got an email from a good friend of mine from a support. He's actually the coordinator of the men's abuse group that I went to. And he's moving out. Again, privacy, confidentiality. And it's like that was a really challenging move for him. So I think I'm feeling the same thing right now, the irony of us both moving out at the same time. So I'm going to turn here to the side, okay? And I want to showcase to you, I'm going to switch the camera over to the left. You'll see on the bed, as I mentioned earlier, gotta be careful not to touch the mic. There's like some bags there, right? The bags, I can hear some Maple Story music from my live stream. Over on Twitch if you're actually interested. But basically that's where the bags, there's some stuff there. Why are they there? Now I want to allude to another crate behind me that I have to cover. And I didn't think I had to do that. So basically over here on this end, you can see right there next to this crate behind. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of magic. I'm going to pause the video and it's going to be instantaneous for you guys. But this crate over there is supposed to be all the way at the back. Temporarily, you couldn't see it because it's behind the bed over there. I dragged it over here so you could see it, and that has a lot of official documentation and paperwork, even some stuff that for example, there's a binder from back in the day when I was learning about, I at the time was thinking of becoming an optometrist, so an eye doctor, doing eye exams and the Snellen's law and the Snellen chart and stuff like that. And very interesting career for sure, very fulfilling. But at the time, I was not particularly happy with the situation, and it cost me a lot. For example, this project that birthed out of it is something that I wanted to do. I was a lot more interested and passionate and caring about this, and I felt that I wanted to place my discipline and effort towards this project, and I have no regrets, honestly. It's covered so much of my personal growth. I would be kicking myself so hard if I didn't start this project. So over there you have this crate and it's got all that binder work and paperwork there. Now it's completely full. That's the reason why we had to put some paperwork inside here. That was one of the main issues when it came to coordinating the paperwork. I have a lot of paperwork and binders stuff remaining, not just on top of that crate when it was on the side behind the bed. That was overflow. But I also have even more overflow of letters and envelopes from governments, financial institutions, important documents on this office desk. And I need to figure out a way, I said, where am I going to place it? So again, most likely from the office desk, the paperwork, the letters, envelopes, they might go inside here. I know I'm talking really fast here, faster than usual. The pacing, again, there's just so much. Maybe I'll put it, like I said, inside this inner crate. That makes a lot more sense. Not more sense, but I don't have a choice because I don't have another crate and I don't want to get another crate. So that's that. And now, what about that crate? That crate, I can tell, like I said, there's some university courseware, learning material, stuff that I want to actually retake the test for the OAT optometry admission test in the future. There's also a lot of like important documentation, which I won't cover too much detail, but like you can think of institutional material, you can think of volunteering organizations. I volunteer for a hospital. All that kind of stuff. What have you volunteered for? Actually, that's something I can ask you to put in the YouTube, right, the Discord. Where have you volunteered? Where have you worked? Where have you been an intern at before? And what's your field? So for example, for me, most of it is healthcare. That's what it is, healthcare and biomedical science. So that's what a lot of the paperwork there is. It's either coursework or it's paperwork from work or volunteering or agencies, in which case I didn't do all healthcare. A lot of it was heavy manual labor or physical, construction type stuff. So it's like a good variety of different experiences. Okay. Now I'm going to pause. I'm going to do that magic thing. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to move to the back. I'm going to show you the original location and swap over to the side here and show you. We're going to start talking about the stuff on the bed that was on top of this paperwork crate. Okay, I know you can't see very much throughout this entire video. I apologize. Again, this stuff is very heavy, or it's just, a lot of many little small things. I can't hold on to this stuff and talk to you about it, except for the stuff that's coming out right now. So in 3, 2, 1, do a little Houdini magic. Go. All right. So there, it's gone now. The crate's gone now. And where it is, see it behind at the back, next to the closet right there, where my finger's pointing. I know it's very, very difficult to see. Let me turn up the gain here so you can hear me a little bit better. There we go. I just turned up the gain on the mic so that you can pick me maybe a little bit higher, So there is where the crate is. It's actually more shifted to the side before we started this video, behind the bed. And that's where that paperwork crate was. I had to move it out front so you could actually talk about it. Now on top of that, you can see there's that brown paper on top just for matting. Okay, so let's talk about it on the left-hand side here. And maybe I don't have to have that high of a gain right now. Maybe closer to the mic. But over here on the bed, that's what was on top of the black matting of the office paperwork stuff. Now, office paperwork, courseware, whatever, on top of it. Why did I place it there? I literally just didn't have any space, and I didn't want to put it on the floor. That's the only reason. And I realized I didn't switch scenes, but that would have helped a lot. But there we go. Switching scenes here. You can see the crate at the very backdrop, right? The office paperwork thing. And then on top was this stuff, which I can carry now with my hand. I wish I had switched scenes sooner so that you guys had better coverage of it, but unfortunately I didn't do that right properly. So here is the stuff that we've covered before in general, but not in specific detail. And I'm not going to cover in specific detail right now either, but because nothing can really be done that way. You just don't have any time. It's not worthwhile anyway. So one by one here, basically on top was a lot of hygiene and sanitation stuff. So for example, COVID-19, right? We got these like masks here. Obviously, we're not weak little sissies anymore. I think that was a major issue. Back then, even I was a lot more prepared than other people for a pandemic. I was the one who used to be cleaning, wiping down floors, not touching doorknobs, even before 2018. So like all through university, 2012, I was ahead of the game. Now I'm behind the game, right? It's very interesting how that works in life, Sometimes you're ahead of the curve, sometimes you're behind the curve. I can tell you before I was ahead in terms of hygiene, behind in other ways, and then mostly ahead, but now I'm far behind, and it mostly comes from that situation I'm in, which I've discussed before. So we have these, this is from Transit. It was a nice gift during the pandemic. I think 2021, I received this and I was taking the boarding bus because they could tell anyone who's outdoors and going to work is an essential worker. And I was an essential worker at the time. For pretty much the first 2.5 years, I was working, again, manufacturing first aid kits and stuff like that for St. John's Ambulance, manufacturer for it. So that's what this is: CPR kits, first aid kits, survival kits, masks, gloves, nitriles, all that kind of stuff, bandages, So that's what this is from. This Transit Commission. I really haven't used it, haven't finished it up. I tend to save my masks. We also have a Kleenex box here. There's not a whole lot to say about this. Got from No Frills. I'm going to leave this here because we're going to clean up this entire room, right? So again, I'm principled. I think that, people all have their own standards. I know that even though I don't get along with certain people in this household, I'm still going to make sure the room is clean for them when I leave. That's just some basic courtesy and respect, guys. There were times where things were good. It's really quite sad. I just don't feel anything anymore because I've stopped caring, which is in some ways good, some ways bad. But what I'm going to show you here next is paper. It's like a laundry detergent. I'm trying to speed things up here because it's 20 minutes in, and we only have a few items left, so we can kind of finish everything off. But this is the laundry soft bounce fabric softener kind of stuff. Very straightforward, right? You just toss it in and then it gets rid of all the static. But it also smells nice. And then we have a black plastic bag from Dollarama here. There's only about 2 bags left, I believe, if not only one. And there's 12 per bag. This is the Hercules brand. It costs like $4. That's about it. Really cheap. Got nice handles. And, so I use that for laundry, right? But basically, most of this is laundry stuff. And I have a mask here that's black with sort of COVID as well, but it's a little bit more, I don't know, fashionable. I don't know. It's just something that fits the Honro brand at the time, the Honro Project, now Project Jira, and now it's more like slice of life, slice of real life, whatever you want to call it. Gramps slice of real life. How it changes, right? It went from like the project over to the Honro Project, over to Project Jira, over now to like some grandpa's slice of life weird thing because it's incorporating more keywords. That's literally what I'm doing. I'm incorporating more SEO friendly keywords, even though SEO is a thing of the past now. Digital stuff is not in. Physical stuff and living outside, living your life like in reality is the thing now. But you do what you do. Anyways, this stuff here. So we got the sanitation, we got the bags, we got the laundry, all this stuff here is on top of that. And then what I think I'm going to do with all the sanitation stuff here. Okay. First of all, we have an option to place it inside. So on top of that box was also this huge, maybe this should have been a thumbnail. I think that would have been better. Bags within bags within bags. These are all reusable bags, paper bags mostly. And some of them is from the company again for sale commissions, nutritional sciences and stuff like that. I don't know why it's so dark. I realize now it's not because I've turned the ring light away. That was a big mistake. Throughout this entire video, I've been using the wrong scene, and then I've also been turning the ring light away. But it keeps it real, though. I don't know. Maybe that's just what it is, You make mistakes and they get captured on camera, and I think that makes it a lot more genuine. When you fuck up, and you don't hide your fuck ups, right? That's just what it is. Of course, you gotta balance that with something that's actually marketable and approachable, which I think I'm failing very heavily on. But so, anyways, that's that. What the hell? Is that the contrast? Why is it so bad? Yeah, what? I think it's the lighting. Anyways, we have this here. It's a bag. See all the bags in the bags. It's a Zara bag. We have like just a blank bag. This one's from Chinese Lunar New Year mooncakes. This one's from, of course, all of these here are from Usana Health Sciences. Again, cellular nutrition. One of my most favorite things, Dr. David Sinclair. Anti-aging biological senescence type DNA methylation research, genetic expression, all that nerdy stuff that I was pretty much into back in the day, and that I may continue to delve into the future. So the idea is to maybe put the cleaning stuff and the laundry stuff inside this bag, because you can see it's very easily compressible. Then on the side here, you can see there's a plastic bag. So for example, I can toss, here's an example, this inside here. Hell, I can even put paperwork in here, I just realized now. So it's interesting, right? Like I said, I don't really know how things will turn out, but it looks like I'm gonna put all the cleaning stuff in here. I don't think I'm gonna put paperwork in here. It doesn't seem to make sense. The plastic bags I can probably take out them and toss away, honestly. We're gonna use up all of these in the moving process. And we'll talk about why that is. So I'm just gonna toss that away, I think. This is recycling. Chuck it over there. Plastic bag, leave it on the side. Use it later. but the mask and everything, for example, will go inside here. Okay. So with that being said, I think that's everything. I have to take a shit. I feel it coming right now. I always feel a little bit guilty about doing this because, I've mentioned before that the situation is not well, and I try not to use other people's stuff right now. Again, basic principles, right? You still got your own self dignity and your basic courtesy. Basic courtesy. You might not respect the other people here. You might not like their behavior. You might find it atrocity, and they might feel the same way about you. But there's some basic minimal respect, I think, which is like, don't use other people's stuff that's not yours. So I'm gonna unfortunately go use the washroom, even though I feel like I'm not supposed to use the washroom. So that's that. But that being said, that kind of covers everything in the backdrop. I think that's pretty much everything except for the closet region, which has some clothing there. That's everything that we have to cover, minus the bed, minus the closet. That covers moving, almost. It's never everything. It's just too much. The next video has to cover the office region, and I have to debate. Am I going to do that now? Am I going to do that later on? Hopefully, we come to a decisive answer and get that done. Because once we cover everything on video, then we move it out. If we don't, it feels like we've kind of missed something. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Here's the animation graphic. Thanks for the people who tune in. Oops, yeah. Keep tuning in, specifically on the podcast, Spotify, and so on and so forth, because I can tell people actually drop by. Same thing with the people. There are people who are random passerbys. I know it's not consistent all the time. I know that's usually just a few people, and the retention rate is really low anyways. You guys only like skim through for like 2 minutes. You probably like hop through chapters and see what's happening to check in. But again, even though I appreciate that as well. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. And I think the office desk is what's happening next, but it's a bit of a cliffhanger. Let's find out together.